so deep in the weeds. I had to step outside and look and just say, "Look, man, we are done." So nothing compares. Nothing. For 10 years we've been doing this, ain't nothing compared to that moment. When they say the FIERI effect, that the monsoon, that was the moment where people were like, as soon as the episode aired, they're at your door.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Check podcast today. It's me, Brennan Villarreal, your host, and today in the studio I have Johneric Concordia. What's up?
How are you?
It's going real good. It's been a busy couple last days. It's my day off. Here I am in the studio, but I'm talking to fine folk like you. Get some insight on what it's like being a restaurant owner and a partner of one of the coolest bars in LA, and also being a big boxing enthusiast.
I'm with it.
A little bit about myself. We've been getting a lot of comments, and I like dabble in a little bit about my my old life of being an MMA fighter. And I know all of you guys have been curious to know what that's been like, and I thought what a better way than to talk to Johneric here, who loves to box, and talk about the gym life and getting into that stuff, and talking about my old past life of fighting. So here we are.
So how long have you been doing martial arts?
Well, currently I don't do it anymore, but I started training in 2010.
Nice.
In mixed martial arts, mostly Muay Thai.
Excellent.
So I did Muay Thai for about 3 years, and then I started training jiu-jitsu, boxing, grappling, all of it. Started fighting MMA, and then I think I fought 3 fights, and once I was fighting at 135. I weighed 150 as my my walking weight.
And cut.
I lost my championship fight at 135, and then my coach was like, "All right, Brennan, you know what the next step is? These guys are really big for you. It's time to drop to 125." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die." I was already dying, like this dropping what I was at, and I was like, I don't know if I could do this, and just not having support from fam, from fighting MMA. So then I focused on cooking again, started cooking, and then stopped fighting as a whole thing, just because I was training doing two days all the time and eating like really, really crazy diets.
Chicken and rice.
Yeah, chicken, rice, steamed veggies, no salt. And then fast forward a little bit later, my homie that I used to train with opened up his own gym, and that was like weird 21 COVID, post-COVID, still weird COVID era we're still in right now.
So you got to do it at home.
Yeah, and then I went to my friend's gym. We started training. He's like, let's do a Muay Thai fight, Brennan. I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. I started training, getting real into it again. Missed it. And then I tore my calf muscle, going way too hard on the bag because I just started training again. But I felt like I can go 100%, even though my body hasn't been doing it for a really long
2
time.
years.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the dynamics. I started boxing late. I played high school football, track and field, but the time from marching in the streets to cooking food, there was no activity. And it was only in 2017, I was 264. And the homie who worked in the line with us was a junior trainer at Wildcard, and was just trying to explain, like, as a fan, as a hobbyist, you might as well go train.
Mm-hmm.
And I hurt my back, bringing coconut milk from the truck to the side of the foot of the bed of the truck to a Big Blue, our dolly, the 4-stack, right?
Yeah.
The Restaurant Depot double stack, right? So people are moving it over, and I hurt my back. So if I'm incapacitated, what am I going to do? We need supplies, we need equipment, we need materials. If I'm not doing that every week, I'm done. The shop's done.
Yeah.
So, we started doing home gym, home training, DVD fitness tapes, Sean T, Insanity, right? And it was great, but it was also kind of limited. So when we started training in the backyards on Coronado, doing backyard boxing, and it was no sparring, it was 1, 2, 3. Where are your
Fundamentals.
feet, where your hands, where your arms. After you're done with that, we'll hit the bag together, 1 minute. And, everybody's amongst the homies together, training, cracking jokes. But when it's game time, you're hitting it to the best of your ability, and you realize you suck. You suck.
Yeah.
You suck at that shit, and the homies watching. And they're like, and then they do their thing, and they suck. And we all trying to figure out how, as our age, at our fitness level, how do you get better? It's not going to be once a week when we are just hanging out together. Mm-hmm. Do that shit at home. Work on it. Develop your own technique. Do some push-ups, do some pull-ups, shadow box. And when we get together again, where are we at collectively? And I think that's one thing that the P-Town Boxing Club was beneficial mentally, emotionally, physically, was that you just checking in with the homies. We ain't trying to spar.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to knock each other out. We can't know. The family's going to be mad if that happens. But how do we have a good time together and get fit? So that was one thing that was instrumental of what made our crew a voyage for us individually. But, Chris and I, we train at Wildcard now. And to all the homies and the families that are there, it's the barbershop. Mm-hmm. It's people of different ages, of different skill sets going in. And I don't talk to you until you show up at least 10 times. Uh-huh. That's how the space is. But once we see that you're committed.
Putting in the work.
Hey, turn your foot. Turn your wrist. After you hit, what next? Defense, do some road work,
Yeah.
Suggestions that all these grumpy ass people are giving you. Now there's this support network that happens. So it's a beautiful space because through boxing, I feel more American. I feel more Filipino. Bruce Lee's attitude of expressing oneself. You can express yourself, but if you're not capable, you can't.
Yeah.
So if you don't do the pull-ups, you don't do the push-ups, you don't do the road work, you can't do what you think you can do in your head. Mm. And that's one thing that's beautiful at the spot. Just work it out. Just try it.
Yeah. I mean, what's it like being an owner of a restaurant and a chef, and then also getting up to do the fitness life?
It's part of doing everything you got to do for the business. If you're not physically capable to work, how can you expect anybody else to show up, to carry the bags, to move this, to work product, to run tables, to do dishes, to mop, to sweep, to formulate, to account? All of these things that small businesses have to do, they have to do not only mentally, but physically capable of doing it. And if you can't do that, or you're doing it and
it's tough.
Yeah. And it gets tougher. And if we did a blood check, vein check, it's going to get harder. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things that when I hurt my back,
it's like a wake-up call.
It's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
You 264. Double X going on triple X. What are we doing to make sure that you're alive and you can take care of the team and you take care of these customers? So boxing made me go from 264 to 192.
Dang, that's crazy.
So this range of just working it out, and it'll fluctuate. Right? I love nachos. I love chili cheese fries. I love whiskey and beer.
Same as me too.
But after you're done, can you work on a regimen to make sure that just repetition wise you can do it? You'll put in work and still be good. So it's something that we try to recommend to all the homies, as far as we're older now and we're hearing a lot about difficulties that people are having our age range. It's important for us to go Listen to coach. Do burpees, dog. Do some push-ups real quick, and then let's go about our day.
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people how to maintain or try to have a healthy lifestyle while working in the industry. And I know it's extremely hard. We all get off work extremely late, and then we're just like super tired in the morning. Maybe you drank a little bit the night before and you got to go do it again. But as you get older, you start feeling it more, start feeling it in your bones. Like, I was feeling it a lot a couple years ago when I wasn't working out anymore, and I was just like working at the hardest restaurant in LA, and my legs were just like shot, and I like relied on coffee. And now that I started working out, like my energy at work is just like way better, and I don't have to drink as much coffee, just have 1 cup of coffee a day. And like my mind feels better, it's sharp. You don't feel sluggish.
I used to fucking take 3 scoops of Folgers, boil water, pour the water in, take ice, pour that shit on the ice, and then just slam it.
Instant cold brew.
You know? So what do we, like as far as, I think if your drive and your heart is there, you're trying to find ways to make it work. So you borrow. Part of it is physical capabilities. And if you got to punch something, if you're doing Muay Thai and you're looking at distance and you're looking at how to feint, like there's some beautiful things of martial arts, of physical activity, of working the line when things are deep in the weeds. And you're like, we're going to die. This is impossible. They're all going to be mad. Mm-hmm. But based off of what you have, your team available to you, what you actually have in stock, let's just end there. Because most of the time you try to go, all right, let's reload. Mm-hmm. You don't need it. Just take the shit that's right in front of you and make that work. It's a fucking amazing feeling. But you have to be ready to do and handle that. And that's one of the things that I love about like working with our teams and making food for people is that how long can you last in running the program and making sure that food that people have been waiting for to enjoy is something that you've prepared and are ready for. And then to hear it happen when you interact with people, oh, I was here at this time on this day for this event and we had a great time. That hard work carries over.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But, you have to be ideally physically capable to do it. This ain't soft work.
No, it's definitely not soft work.
This ain't no soft work. You're deep in the fire. You're burning. You're sweating. You're wet. There's slipperiness. There's timing. There's pressure that's taking place in the food industry. And you have to reset every day. Nothing happened. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's broken. Mm-hmm. Nothing needs repairs. No one's showing up. Everybody's showing up. And we're going to have exactly what you've expected to come to. And then you don't do it.
Yeah.
Are you terrible? Are you a bad person? Is what you've put in, the sincerity of your dishes and your team, something for other people to not enjoy? Chefs, line cooks, dishwashers, they don't necessarily have to argue that point for us. Small business owners have to argue with everybody that this is why this is good. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't have a good time, we're sorry. We will fix that. But what you say, how you act, affects people's lives.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So that's why every time I see y'all, I always go and jump in the back. Mm-hmm. I hope you guys are crying. I hope you're tired. I hope you're worried about how people are going to have a good time. But in the end, you handled it.
Yeah.
Get slammed, get crushed. Usual. Hope you crying. Because then, then we can make sure that they're going to show up again.
I feel that. I love being in the weeds too, And it makes me love what I do. I'm like, I hope, like we did this event 2 nights in a row. My station was not the busiest station. I was like, damn, I was hoping it was going to be busy for me. I wanted to get slam. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to switch stations the next day because that one looked like it was the busiest station.
Jackson.
And I was like, okay, let's do this one. I was like, all right, I get to do oysters. I get to do salads. I get to do pan de sal. I was like, cool, I get to run around. That's what I want to do. I want to be like in the weeds. So put me there and I'm just going to move as fast as I can so I can like bang everything out like that.
Did you feel it?
I didn't feel it. It wasn't busy. It wasn't busy as I thought it was. Yeah, it was definitely a feeling where I was like, all right, I'm gonna get slammed today. This team was this area was busy last night, so I'm gonna be busy. It was the opposite. But
what was your worst?
My busiest service,
like where you were ready to go. I'm done.
I don't think anyone's ever heard my in the weeds story on this podcast. It was probably I have a lot, but this one definitely hankered me because it was embarrassing as well, and then I did not succeed at the end also. This is when I was working for Michael Simaristi's sister restaurant under the Ace Hotel, and he wanted to do his famous fried chicken Fridays that he does at Connie and Ted's, and the way he wanted it done was all in cast irons. So he made fried chicken from cast iron. That's how Michael Simaristi does it. First time ever doing it. For this first time ever, with everything was like special. So I didn't really know what I was doing except for frying chicken and cast irons. So every time we fried a chicken order, we had to clean out the oil, clean the cast iron, refill it back up so it's pure oil. And that shit's a pain in the ass when you have like 20 orders of fried chicken. And the whole line was completely swamped. The chef didn't know what was going on, and he was losing his mind because the communication probably wasn't the best about what was going to happen on this fried chicken Friday. We also had a theater rush because we're next to the theater that we share with. So a theater rush basically is when everyone is coming to eat before their show starts. And so we just get a wave of like 300 people. We're getting swamped. There's oil everywhere. We have freaking giant pans of oil, just disgusting oil on the floor. Try not to slip. Then Simaristi comes in. He's like, hey guys, I just want to introduce you to my CDC and sous chef from Providence, which is one of the first LA Michelin star restaurants. And we're like, damn. They're all looking at us on the line and we're like, don't look at my face right now. Like, I wanted to bleep out my face. I'm like, don't remember who this person was. My sous chef was like, oh, fuck. Like, we're just all embarrassed because there's no way we got out of this mess. And there's these high top tier Michelin star chefs looking at us in a disaster spot in a kitchen. And I don't even remember the end of the story. I just remember just going home being like, what the fuck just happened? That was embarrassing.
Oh, man, you should have drafted that motherfucker. Should have said, hey, yo,
draft, come here.
Look, hey, yo, come here. That was the thing for us when we got slammed. It was the Guy Fieri's Diner, Drive-Ins, and Dives. When you talk about the effect of how television at that time really had an impact for small businesses, you got to think mom and pop shops never had an opportunity because all of the big franchises had commercials. You never made the public focus on these different restaurants that were out in America. So for us to be on that show was the bat signal that brought everybody in and everybody's expectations as well. You have Filipinos that are coming from Las Vegas, from San Diego, from San Francisco, and at 9:00 you don't have ribs. Not worth my time. What are you gonna do? You know, there's people that have been there since 9 a.m. So there's these things that we had to learn how to like up our scale. Mm-hmm. But then what if you up your scale and nobody shows up? Opposite of the weeds. Like you're second guessing your humanity because you're trying to figure out what is seasonality in the business? What is viable when you have ingredients, or the different rushes that take place from the media, from your own interactions with the customer base who might have repeating customers, the economy itself, right? These are all of the things that you also have to take into account while your team is working. And I think that's the thing that for us, 15 years in this business, you have to be a political scientist. You have to understand what's happening in the world today and how that'll affect us 4 years from now. That not only includes crops and livestock, it includes policy, it includes different propositions, it includes world warfare and access to resources. If you're not aware of this, you will fail. And I think that's what we're kind of having a difficult time in this current 2023 phase, where we have major food reviewers and aggregators of information having running lists of who closed. That's rough. It's rough to know that those are people you know on that list.
There's been a lot of restaurants that have closed this year.
And then do you criticize the media who's reporting that? No, it's the truth. It's what's happening. So all of these things we're all looking at in the food industry now, and we're all arguing with each other. You're dope. They're dope. They're dope. We're trying to do some dope stuff. Can you come check us out?
Yeah.
But economically, it's also either unavailable, not viable, or people don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a weird world now where you can be in the weeds or you can not.
Yeah.
And when you're in the weeds, can we taper people's expectations and attitudes about what they're tasting, what they're experiencing? Maybe there's no more whatever, come on, what are we talking about?
Yeah. It always feels like when a restaurant closes that you really love, it's almost like one of your favorite athletes just retired.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, damn, I'm never going to be able to eat this food again. Never going to watch them play again.
But that's from an injury.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's rough about it. When we talk about food closing, something happened where we can't keep doing this. There's just no way we could keep doing this. I mean, it's for what we're dealing with. And I think that's one thing that the consumer also needs to be kind of understanding and more mature about, is that their dollars are important. Their experience and interacting and enjoying food is important, because, yeah, we can be on dope lists, but if the people don't show up, it won't exist. And also at the same time, I can't afford it. My economic situation right now doesn't allow me to support. So there's no beef. So how do we figure out, okay, I may not be able to afford it, but my job can be recommended. Bam! There's empowerment in people's voices. There's empowerment in people's likes, their shares, their saves, their comments. And I think even here, viewership. When people enjoy something and like it, that is a mark. It's chicken scratch at. And that's kind of how the Parks Finest has always been. That's how we've always been. It's like we're hood famous. Yeah. Now we're blog famous, and we're just trying to connect.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following you guys since I started working at LASA, 5 years ago, and just watching your social media page, just like from whatever incident happens, broken in, the power is out, and just watching your stories, I'm like, damn, this guy is going through it. Like, fuck, man.
But it's the list.
Yeah. It's
literally real time, you're seeing what's happening to a small business.
And a lot of small business owners don't want to show that sometimes, because it's like a facade.
You have to be
It's very important for everyone to understand what is going on in a small business behind closed doors.
I think part of it is any way that people can give a check-in, right? I love the meme, you good, you good, you good, you good. That's a New York way of checking in. And for us, our presentation of what we're doing is really just a way to say, this is where we're at. While at the same time, I see you when I see you. If it's your birthday, if not your birthday, the homie's birthday, or the homie's birthday, or the kid's first baptismal, or whatever it may be, we'll see you. And I think we don't pass out flyers, right? We don't put on door knockers. And our story really connects with people just being present, and their spheres and their spheres of influence have had a glimpse of what, house party cuisine is about. What Los Angeles 213, the last bastion of downtown Los Angeles, Echo Park, historic Filipinotown. This is what we've done. This is what we do. And this is what we will offer for as long as we are present. Those are some of the fun, exciting things that make our community something you love. And if you've never been firsthand experienced, if you've never had this firsthand experience, one, it's here for you. And two, we have a track record where you can at least keep up to date. And then when you hear, we hear.
Exactly. Let's talk food. What's your favorite dish at Park's Finest?
My favorite dish at the Park's Finest is just white rice and cocoa beef. It's literally the check-in bite that has the most nutrition, the most time. Like the cocoa beef takes 32 hours. You roast it for 16, you cube it, you cool it, you cube it, you make the sabao, the gravy, for another 6 hours. Then you introduce the cubed meat. Then you put it in the smoker for 12 hours like a crock pot. Just that alone is so much invested time that when you have a spoonful with rice,
Heaven.
It's the star of Mario Brothers. It's the full recharge of a bite. And I think that's what if some people don't like coconut, I'm sorry.
I love coconut.
But if you enjoy what this ginataang adobo baka is, it's Pac-Man's bite. It's the recharge bite that I'm deep in the weeds.
Popeye spinach.
It's Popeye spinach. I'm deep in the weeds. We're out in the front. Aunties are mad.
Yeah.
Lolas are mad. Just take a bite, chomp it down, take a breath, and check in with the team of what we need to finish the job. And scoop of rice and cocoa beef is it.
Sounds delicious. I'm hungry now all of a sudden. So I went to Thunderbolt for during the holiday or Halloween season.
Yes.
And I was so confused when I walked in with my partner because it was all like Florida themed.
The Dusty Dolphin.
And I thought that Thunderbolt closed.
And somebody argued and said, this is not the best 100 bar. This is not even the best 1,000 bar. This is a good local bar. They have crabs on the lights.
They had an ice sculpture.
They have
dolphin.
an ice sculpture.
That was the coolest thing.
They had a lifeguard stand. This is a joke. This can't be one of the best bars in the world, and they wrote that. And for us, we're like sitting in there in our space, trying to like knowing our locals, knowing people that are here enjoying it. You just kind of have to sit on it and laugh, and also know that's an impact, right? It's an impact that somebody it goes over the head that local people can do dope shit, have fun, and it doesn't have to
And
be
not take
glamorous.
himself so seriously.
Yeah, don't take yourself so seriously, but the people here will take care of you, right? Based off of our basic flow, right? If we introduce us who we were not as a Dusty Dolphin, you'd enjoy the space. What we're doing, offering you right now, is something that you should enjoy the space, and if it goes over people's heads, we just kind of the rule of odds and volume. Some people don't get it, and then those that get it welcome you back.
I was all about it.
Yeah,
I was also saying I thought it was a Ace Ventura theme bar.
yeah. Florida,
Yeah.
right? Miami, or these shacks, but ideally, we can do Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze. They're making a new one actually.
Who?
With Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, come on!
No.
Man.
But they put him in the UFC ring. They like filmed it, and he like pretend like he was fighting, like acting for the movie.
That's supposed to be Roadhouse.
That's Roadhouse.
That's the
Yep. He got ripped for that.
Hey man, you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
If he can, God bless him. Jake Gyllenhaal, if you could be.
He just has to fill Patrick Swayze's shoes, Patrick Swayze
No
is a
one
god.
can fit his shoes, and that's what's dope about Patrick Swayze, because he came from that range where he was like, he's literally the older Kuya, the outsiders.
Yeah.
Y'all fucking around, but
love
I gotta
him.
back you up, you know.
Yeah.
And then to running the show, fixing small businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, man, Patrick Swayze was helping small businesses from the ground up.
Yeah.
He had what he was worth and how he would
legs.
interact with people. He changed his car.
Yeah.
So his regular car would get busted up. He just said, look, this is how it's gonna happen. This is what we're gonna do. Did karate
This the
naked
way.
and shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then he became a ghost.
Rest in
And
peace.
solved the crime.
Yep. I love that guy. My Lola always said I kind of look like Patrick Swayze.
Hey,
A little bit. I don't know.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Also, Josh Brolin is
Hey, look
actually
at this.
the number one.
See, it's funny. I didn't want to say nothing. Yeah, I brought it up just because I was trying to address it and just curve it towards you. Filipinos now, and in Australia, they say philos.
No, I didn't know
It's
that.
different, man. I heard that shit. And they say philos. But I was looking at you. I was like, man, Filipinos now used to do the good boy haircut with the part, fade, side part.
Yeah.
Now they doing the Patrick Swayze Lola cut.
I didn't even realize it kind of looked like that.
The Patrick Swayze Lola cut.
Okay.
Check in.
Okay.
Check in with the aunties.
Yeah, I usually wear a
right
hat
there.
on the podcast, but today I thought I'd take it off.
Take
Just, uh,
take some hair off your hair.
Yeah, I gotta get a haircut.
No,
It's been a while.
No, don't pull it back. Pull it forward.
Pull it forward.
Yeah. Other side, both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, where the camera angle is. How's it look?
Excellent.
Good.
Dangerous,
Dangerous.
but supportive.
Got it. Yeah, so Thunderbolt turned into Dusty Dolphin. We really loved it. Can't wait for next year. We really enjoyed the Koji Peach Daiquiri.
That was an excellent
That was really, really delicious. I'm not really into frozen alcoholic drinks, but that one, I really wanted a second one. Yeah. So, like, what do you do with boxing now? You're just training, trying to just be fit more.
It's
Do you have
one
any
of those
goals with it?
places. Shit. Goals, man. Goals.
Yeah.
Dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like going to the barbershop. You got old dudes who have their opinions, but they could whoop ass and talk shit to you. The young middle guys who are trying to figure out their stuff and just either train or just they're former amateurs or pros and they're doing their thing. And then these young lions, these young lionesses who are coming up and we're all buddies. And you're like, we're work buddies. That's one thing about, I don't have any responsibility going to the gym. I just have homies who are doing their thing, and we're all cooking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's basically what it was like when I was training all the time. And maybe when I wasn't like getting fights or signing up for fights, is mostly just like, I'm just coming here just to get better, hang out with my homies, spar with them, not spar with them, and just like shoot the shit.
Yeah.
And like help each other get better, whatever they're lacking at.
And then I understand, like, if there's elements where, like, if you're lasered in, that's what you're doing. But there is this broader community of people who are like, there's 80-year-old ballerinas at Wildcard. You know what I mean? There's grandpas, there's double pipe bypass surgery cats, there's 5-year-olds who are with their families. And everybody's watching each other. And that's what's dope about it. Freddie always was like, nah, when you come in, you could watch everybody and you could learn something. It's just up to you to analyze it. And that's what's dope about the space, is that when you watch somebody work, you're like, for you and your body type or your experience level, what are you doing? Because everybody is visibly watching somebody's interpretation of their body movement.
Yeah.
We don't roll. We don't roll in boxing. They're sparring. And even then, it's not few and far between, but like within these windows, sometimes you're privy to it, or you're just doing your own damn thing.
Yeah.
These, we say, don't waste blinks. So if we're at the gym, we're getting ready, tying up, we look somewhere else and they ain't doing much. Right? The old cats will be like, just waste my eyes on you. Waste my blinks. So as somebody who would train, I would always make sure that if you're watching what I'm trying to do, I'm trying my best. And you could say, hey, that was a good try or bad try, but you can't say I didn't try.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that at that gym has really been encouraging. Right? So I'm in the age where I'm not going to spar you. I'm not going to but let me hit my bag. Let me dance around. Let me ice skate. Let me jump rope. Let me do some road work and do some speed work and speed bag work that I'm still growing. And I think that's what's dope about it.
Yeah. There's like no timeline. You're just like there, mentally fresh, just like letting go of everything, just having a good time in the gym. And like when you're talking about this, it's bringing back some memories where I did this Muay Thai class with my coach, and it always be at noon. And that was the class for not fighters, but everybody. And we had someone that was like a photographer, and she was like 6'3", very like, she's like a giraffe. And it'd be fun like teaching her because she would have these long arms and legs, and like you'd hold the bag for her, but you'd have to like stand back like 5 feet away. And you're like, whoa. And then you had a guy that was trying to lose weight. He was probably like over 300 pounds, but he just had the heart of a lion, didn't give up. And it was just fun getting to teach everybody. And then they also teach me something in return.
Oh, it's the homies, man.
We're just like a big family. And then we just like chat up after we're done, burning how many calories we burned that session for an hour. Yeah. So I totally feel the community in that. And I haven't been in the gym in a very long time.
And then that's the funny thing too, is that you shouldn't I think sometimes when we don't go to the gym, the further away we get from the gym, we can't go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, nah,
that's
just
not
show
how it
up.
is anymore.
Just get it in, find your way. If there's spaces, or, you could do do
anything you want.
and whatever, add that, make that part of your routine. But when it's these elements where you get to be in a community and express yourself respectfully and with true intent in the time you have available in that spot, then why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. So do you have any advice to anyone that wants to open up a small business? I'm sure you have a lot of advice.
My advice to small businesses are that it is more important than ever for us to do as much thoughtful, productive, insightful, and kind of there's an active preparedness that's taking place to implement your plan. There's sometimes a struggle where we're small businesses at this point in juncture, we're probably in our most difficult situation and we're established. So imagine people that are trying it for the first time. Mm-hmm. You can't go into it blindly. You can't go into it with overconfidence, but you do have to have some planning and thoughtfulness to make your decision as impactful as possible. Right? Their confidence and thoughtfulness, there's these elements where I'm going to make moves towards this because I've developed enough know-how, insight, and support to thread this needle. We're very much an anomaly because our interactions and our stories are reflective of this nonprofit and this range, this umbrella of nonprofits that we grew up under. So they were always looking out for us. At the same time, wherever we could support, wherever there was things that we could, in kind, be able to offer, food, volunteer hours, whatever it was, that we can all do programming and events and annual situations and community programmings together. It's something that we've continued to grow. And I think you can't expect for anybody to give you anything, but we're an example of we got a lot. People gave us a lot, and we are trying our best to support them in every faction and every action we have available. And we'll be honest where we're at. Hey, dog, there's no more power. What could we do?
Yeah.
What could we do if there's no more power? What could we do if no one shows up? And we're honest with our community, and they've came back. So that's one of the deepest things that we continue to do doing this interview is a deep opportunity to tell you we're still here. Mm-hmm. We will still be here. We will continue to be here as long as we have an opportunity to let people know that we exist. Because some people don't remember or don't know. Mm-hmm. So every time we pass by, it's just to say, what's up to the homies? Mm-hmm. Y'all got slammed, you got crushed, good. Because that allows us to do more dope shit.
100%. So for our last segment, I'm going to ask you this question we ask everybody at the end of the show is, tell us your favorite in the weed story.
My favorite in the weed story. It was the second day of us being aired on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Not the second day, maybe the second week. Second day of us being on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I would go to Charlie's Fixtures every day and buy supplies, buy new plates, buy equipment because of the volume that we saw. Loading up food, prepping, getting it ready. And Andre Guerrero explained to me, there's going to be a moment when this rush happens where you got to just stop. Because if you continue on, everything will fall apart. So we had family from the Valley, from Texas, from Las Vegas, from San Diego, from visiting from the Philippines for the first time, visiting from London, from Australia, from Canada, from Tokyo, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, these Filipino diaspora who just so happen to be on the block. And if there's some place to eat, try us out. And it was 7:35. Close at 10. We had nothing. There's no more food. And anything that I was already loading in was to finish up people's order. And it's still an hour and a half behind. So I walked out, told everybody this door that anybody is sitting in right now will get their food. But that's it for outside. So the people cheered. The people were happy. But we didn't leave till 9:30.
Jeez.
Or at least get food out and drop till 9:30. And people were still inside waiting for their order. And it was at that point, just take all these tickets, just pull them down. We're here, get what we have.
Yeah.
And let's be even. Let's distribute the cocoa beef. Let's distribute some pulled pork. Let's distribute whatever ribs I still have that are smoking. So no one can say, dog,
Yeah.
I'm here. But you still got that. You still got people who are like, I came from 400 miles away. This shit was not worth it.
Yeah.
Fuck them. They're like, damn, what am I going to do? And I do.
Yeah.
So deep in the weeds, I had to step outside and look and just say, look, man, we are done. Whatever food we have, everybody's going to get a share unless you don't eat that. And we're done. Surprisingly enough, we didn't actually have people walk in the door after that.
That's good.
So it was kind of one of those perfect stops.
The wave was that was it.
And then instead of having service have to wonder what you're going to order and if we have it, everybody's just like, all right, I'm just going to wait for my banquet style dining. And that's what we became.
Uh-huh.
This is all one family party. Everybody's going to get a little bit. So it was deep in the weeds, but how do you solve it?
Yeah.
So
You just figured that one out.
oh man, and it was in slow motion. Walked outside. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're inside, you can eat. If you aren't, I'm sorry. We're done. And then people just started clapping and shit. We
made it.
Inside. And we're like, shit, that's it. And, it's that was 2013.
That's
So
10 years ago.
Nothing compares. Nothing. For 10 years we've been doing this, ain't nothing compared to that moment. When they say the FIERI effect, that the monsoon, that was the moment where people were like, as soon as the episode aired, they're at your door.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, shit. And now it's, 15 seconds on your iPhone, Android, to TikTok, and just move on. So it's one of those, we've been there when it was like the tidal wave, and now it's like the grind. Be honest, tell your story, provide your food, take care of your health, take care of your team, execute.
Wise words by Johneric, everybody. It's great to have you on the podcast today.
It's all over.
Yeah. And also, congratulations on 10 years. That's a big deal.
It's 10 years at the shop. 14 years as a catering company. So this will be our 15th year. And you're part of our story. I mean, I think that's one thing that we always convey to any of our customers, to any of the people that ever tried our food. You're added to our story. Hands down. We don't exist without people that have ever been with us. So,
Thank you. Guy. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. And I'll see you around. I'm going to come in to Thunderbolt and Park's Finest. You guys should go there too. Hope you had a great day listening to us chat. That was it. And that's your line check for today. See you guys later.